Some chumps going home after a ramble, just messing about. And right in freaking front of him, bam, a scientist, waving his hands in the air, screaming, "Stop, stop!" So he stops, just standing there, and the scientist is, boom, gone. Only a lab coat left of him, covered in blood. You know what the weirdest thing is? The coat doesn't say S.T.A.L.K.E.R or even malachite. It says MDST, whatever that is.
Ah yes, the Ministry of Defense and Secret Technologies, one of the most mysterious factions of the zone, and the topic of this video. Huge spoilers ahead, and let us begin. The origins of MDST remain unclear, but they are undoubtedly tied to Project X and its network of secret research laboratories hidden within the zone. When some of the scientists led by Valentin Dallin decided to connect their minds to the noosphere, the Earth's information field, they became the entity known as Sea Consciousness, but spawned the anomalous zone in the process. This 2006 experiment had not been authorized by the regulatory board, the benefactors behind Project X, and in fact Sea Consciousness immediately betrayed the board by taking control of the X network for themselves.
We weren't the only ones who went up against the regulatory board. After Project X was frozen, some of our former employees decided to continue research under our guidance. They called themselves MDST.
Further proof of what happened in the aftermath of 2006 can be found in an old letter from Laboratory X5. In light of the escalating risks posed by the Chernobyl exclusion zone, Project X has been terminated. All activities within your laboratory have officially been cancelled. Unofficially, Laboratory X5 now falls under the jurisdiction of MDST, our jurisdiction. Those interested in advancing the mission entrusted to us by Sea Consciousness and continuing the work on Project X may join MDST and maintain their positions. More information regarding the lab's new priorities will be provided later. Until then, please continue your work as usual. We understand MDST was the group of scientists who chose to work under Sea Consciousness instead of the regulatory board after they took over the X network. Professor Dvupalov was not one of them, since he declined the offer, but he has his own explanation on MDST.
The scientists from Project X who, unlike me, were eager to continue their research even after it was officially shut down. It appears they were the ones who made the Controller project a reality. Officially, they had no funding or approval to proceed. However, Sea Consciousness wasn't content with merely creating the zone. They were determined to safeguard a pitiful existence. That's why they needed the monolith, and later on, Faust and his abilities.
According to Dvupalov, MDST scientists did manage to carry part of the research to the finish line, as they created some of the mutants, as well as the monolith, the brainwashed agents, and even Faust. Besides the research, another activity of MDST was the collection and destruction of sensible data from other Project X facilities that were abandoned. Indeed, reports from an unknown agent working for MDST can be found in the Promin CMD factory, in which the man explains he was sent to, quote,
"locate and eliminate any potential records related to Project X and the team."
By the way, it is in these recordings that we learned about the meaning of MDST.
The Ministry of Defense and Secret Technologies.
Now, this name is quite peculiar, as it clearly references a ministry, something usually related to the government. It reminds me of the very real Soviet Ministry of Defense, which was mentioned to be involved in the development of Duga in a document from the journalist's ARG. However, the in-game descriptions of MDST, which we've already shown previously, seem to imply that the organization was only formed after the creation of C consciousness and the anomalous zone, removing any serious possibility of ties to the government. After all, MDST went against the regulatory board, which we know is related to the government. Yet I also found a detail that could hint at the fact MDST actually existed prior to these events, a sentence from Dr. Kaimanov's diary. I've read rumors that after becoming C consciousness with the help of the MDST engineers, my former colleagues are doing their best to cover up their tracks. This also coincides with Valentin Dalin, the representative of C consciousness, calling MDST those who helped us from the very beginning. So if MDST did exist within Project X before it was jeopardized by the C consciousness experiment, then perhaps its origins go much further back, explaining why the name does not really fit what we know of the organization at all. Maybe MDST was once created as a subgroup of the Ministry of Defense, but after a long time its members decided to support C consciousness, and kept their original name for the sake of it. We don't really know though, so it's just a theory. Now that we understand what MDST was, at least after the birth of C consciousness, we should take a look at what happened to them.
See, there's no more Project X, no C consciousness, no MDST to protect.
It seems generally admitted that MDST does not exist anymore. All X labs were abandoned eventually, possibly around 2008, and we assume the scientists either died or fled the zone. We learn more information from the documents found at the destroyed S.T.A.L.K.E.R base, which was actually founded by some of MDST's most prominent members, Lebedev, Kaloncha, and Suslov. It turns out that the S.T.A.L.K.E.R leaders had been working under the orders of C consciousness all along. Not only did they participate in Project X and MDST, but they maintained contact with the C consciousness representative and kept following his instructions even after forming Clear Sky, effectively using the faction as a cover-up for their operations. One of Lebedev's notes seems to imply that MDST ceased to exist in 2011 during the events of the Clear Sky game. Hey Nimble, MDST is done. The On-Site Scientist Protection Project has been compromised. I have one last job for you. Find any information on two stalkers who go by Fong and Ghost, while Scar is looking for Strelok. If you find them, eliminate them. Good luck. Nothing is known about the On-Site Scientist Protection Project mentioned by Lebedev, but I suspect it was some kind of program that allowed MDST to safely continue its operations even after it was officially shut down. According to an ancient Roman legend, the ensign was a divine shield that fell from the heavens. Word was that Rome would remain on top of the world as long as the shield was preserved. Therefore, 11 other decoy shields were crafted in order to ensure the safety of the one true ensign. This description fits the idea of a C consciousness endeavor that would use deception, possibly Psi technologies, in order to protect MDST and its scientists. According to Lebedev, this on-site protection project was compromised in 2011, leading to the demise of MDST. But no further details are available. In spite of these events, it is clear that some members of MDST actually survived and continued to operate within the zone. Kaloncha, for instance, did not die during the Clear Sky raid on the CNPP because he had stayed behind at their base. The same thing probably happened to Suslov, since it was revealed in the latest Cost of Hope trailer that he will return in Stalker 2's first story expansion. I'm very curious to see what he's been up to for all these years, and if any other former scientists will show up. After all, Dvupalov was able to survive all this time, so it could also be possible for some of his former colleagues. There are many possible candidates, such as Shapko from X5, Strez from the Agroprom Institute, or even Voitenko from X19. Another proof that MDST members remained active after 2011 is the brainwashing of S.T.A.L.K.E.R, which happened at the Generator's Neurolaboratory in the year 2013. According to the Spark leader's PDA, his reframing instructions were sent directly by MDST, meaning the organization must have still existed in some form back in 2013. Perhaps only a few members remained, and the programming of S.T.A.L.K.E.R's mission was one of their latest moves, seeing that it is basically a Hail Mary to bring back C consciousness. Speaking of S.T.A.L.K.E.R, his agent file mentions another mysterious MDST project called the Reflection Program. Nothing is known about what it could be, but seeing it is S.T.A.L.K.E.R's programming objective, it could be tied to the Shining Zone and bringing back C consciousness via subtle matter. The Reflection Program appears in only one other instance in the entire game, on an incomplete note from one of ours quests. So we can say that the Reflection Program significant changes. I strongly recommend not to make any rush to ensure that the experiment is successful, or at least without catastrophic. Surely this is teasing something important, right? The document was hunted down by one of ours informers, but the guy bit more than he could chew and was silenced by mercenaries. It seems the mercs are very interested in this reflection program, just like they've been interested in everything related to Project X. We already know that they will be involved in Cost of Hope, and now that Suslov has been confirmed to return, I wish we will learn more about the secrets of MDST soon enough. In the meantime, I hope you learned something new in this video. Let me know what you think about MDST in the comments. And until next time, good hunting, stalkers.